something in your mind, and often everyone has a thing in their mind, but not many people listen to their heart and their mind, and they don't really have that conviction, which is okay. I mean, you build it with your experiences. How did you go from that stage to starting your own business? What transpired between those few years in your head and your mind?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of things. So, I really struggled at school. I didn't enjoy that kind of learning environment at all. And when I was in year 10, I got the opportunity to do a TAFE course in a theatre, working in events and doing lighting and audio visual and behind the scenes sort of things. And I fell in love immediately. Lucky for me, that theatre site was on the school campus. So it was meshed in with the school, kind of a TAFE course, but as part of school. And then following finishing that course, I was offered some jobs there. And then all of a sudden I was going to school and getting paid for it, which was a weird feeling. But I really didn't like being told what to do. There's just something about me that I really didn't like being told, like, go mop the floor, go do this. Like, I was fine mopping the floor if I decided to do it, but just in my mind, I didn't like other people telling me what to do. So that was early on. And then I went to Canada after school for 6 months to work in a ski field, just to do something different. And I was meant to be having a gap year. I'd signed up to go to actually TAFE to do audio visual when I was coming back, much to my parents' disgust. But after 6 months, I'd met these 3 Germans, and they said, we're going to travel America for 3 months. Do you want to come? So I'd booked return flights to go back to start TAFE. And I basically didn't tell my parents. I called up the TAFE. I said, sorry, I'm not going to be there. And I went to America for 3 months. And then after I'd done all that, after I'd booked the flights and cancelled the ones to Australia, I told my parents, so they weren't too happy. But that was the best thing I ever did, because I started taking photos and videos while I was traveling America and fell in love with photography and videography. And we're going to all the national parks, just living in this tiny little van with 4 people, just sleeping upright, sleeping in car parks. We had a good time, and I was just taking photos and videos. When I got back, I'd been sharing all of this on Facebook, and all of a sudden, all these people are like, can you come do photos for this? Can you do video for that? So I started that. And then some of my friends were getting married, and I said, I'd love to do a video of your wedding. And I was like, I won't charge you anything. And they said yes. So I did that wedding video, and it went really well. And then so well, I recorded it on Saturday, and I edited it on Sunday and had it to them by Sunday night, and they shared it on Monday morning. And then there was a bride who called me up Monday afternoon and was like, my wedding's next week. I want you to come and do video for my wedding. So for that first wedding, I think I charged $1,500, and it was an 8-hour drive to Streaky Bay, which was a beautiful location. And by the time I paid for accommodation and fuel and food and everything, I probably lost money, but I had so much fun, and I couldn't believe that that's what I was doing. Fast track a little bit, I did that for a few years, just doing wedding videos. It really snowballed. And just as I took videos and posted them, then more brides would see, they would call, they'd be like, I want you to do my wedding. And then all of a sudden that's how that blew up. I was still doing a little bit of work in the theatre at the time. There were events and concerts that were coming. They were like, do you have anyone who can do video? And they would, I was their guy. And they'd be like, yeah, we've got someone who can do video. So I started doing event video there. So for dance concerts, school concerts, that sort of thing. And then that kind of snowballed into me really wanting to expand on that a bit more. So I invested in that side of things. And then I met a lad who was selling a business called Stream Adelaide, which is my business now. And he offered to sell it to me, and they were doing live streaming. That I was doing live streaming at the time, but they had some government clients and some larger contracts. And I was like, yes, I'll do it. So I bought the business, and that was start of 2020, and things have really snowballed from there. and I've just been working on scaling up and getting team involved, and it's been a really exciting process. But that was kind of how things evolved from me not really wanting to work for anyone else and not really learning well in a school environment, more of a hands-on learner, and ending up running my own business. And I never went to TAFE, never went to uni. A lot of the people who work for me have been to uni, and they're much more knowledgeable in some areas than I am. But I've learned everything from watching YouTube and being hands-on as well. So, it's been a pretty exciting journey